You got Gina piling in early. We got Greg Hill coming. Oof. We didn't even get live on YouTube yet. Oh, it's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. Whew. All right. I'm gonna crack my neck a little, stretch my fingers. Let's go. What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are doing better than Meta. Hope you guys are feeling much better than Wolf. Hope you guys are hanging in way more than Core's doing. I hope you're feeling a little more like Tesla today. I hope you guys are feeling a little bit more like Tesla. I hope you guys are feeling a little bit more like the chip sector. I hope you guys are feeling good today, but we do have some crazy earnings out there that are pretty interesting reactions to say the least. Let's start with the SPY. Let me get a quick share going. I got all my people in YouTube land. Welcome. All my real life traders. Oh, welcome. Let's see. I'll kind of sound a little like Borat, to be honest. Very nice. All my real life traders, very nice. I mean, I'm feeling good. I had a V8 energy juice this morning. I don't know, it wasn't energy juice. It was just V8 vegetable juice. Can you believe they fit 2.5 servings of vegetables in one can? That's crazy. Like, so much for so little. All right, let's see. We got SPY. Yep. We did have so broader market, we did have the GDP numbers come out. Markets did like it. Economy still looks like we're just chugging along, which again, honestly, the market's taking it good. That's going to give Jerome Powell a little bit more room to move the rates. And I wouldn't be taking it as good as usual. Before we actually do this, let me share one of the screen with you guys. Let me see if I get this into this screen. Let me go back to Thinkorswim, just something that I looked at yesterday, and I thought it was interesting. So we want to cover that at least. But if we pull up the SPY on the hourly chart, one thing I would definitely look and consider, or just keep in mind, at least worst case, keep in mind, here's our hourly chart. Where's that pen thingy? Here we go. For the SPY, we have some pretty decent divergence building. Right, we actually have divergence from back here. Right, slightly moving down to that point where here we have a big massive up move. Even if we want to take it and we go a little bit tighter on time frames, we're taking this divergence from here to about that direction, and now we're taking this up here. This market will come down. It doesn't have to be the first hour of the day, but I think this market is getting a little bit diverted, and that usually retests. When I do diversions, I'm looking for a retest back into the means of that diversion. So that would be about 375.93. So we could come down again. This is an hourly chart. Before we even start to take a turn, we could still go up. But just keep in mind, we do have divergence building on the SPY. There will be a pullback at some point. Whether that's today or not, that is the question. But it is slowly creeping in on us. So as much as we have very short-term memories as human beings, and we go, yeah, now we're bullish, and that's the only direction we could go. Just keep in mind, not very long ago, everybody was freaking out in a bearish direction. Keep in mind, it was not that long ago. I know, it was crazy. It was like two whole days ago. But maybe on this gap up, we have potentially, and I'm not saying this is definitely what's happening. It's Way too soon to tell, but maybe a little bit of head and shoulders on the SPY. If we get rejected right where we're at, which is this VPOC, this could be a good rejection spot. We already have, I mean, what else do we need as far as numbers go? I don't think we have any other Fed meetings. I don't think we have any other reports, any other good catalysts. The only good catalyst that we've really seen so far is GDP. And that would take us into this VPOC, not able to get above it at least yet. If that's the case, this shoulder could look something like this. We reject, and maybe, and this is not the best head and shoulders, granted. I do prefer a little bit wider of a head and shoulders, but yeah, a little bit. We did have a rotation here, right? So it could look something like this, something like this, something like this potentially. That could happen. Lucia says GDP was a bit mixed bag of data. Yeah, it wasn't. At least the market took it as good. The market seemed to like it. Again, I don't know personally. I think you start saying the economy is good and everyone starts feeling it good, and then Jerome Powell goes, "It's my turn. Let me." Jerome Powell goes, "Hold my beer. I got this." We will see. The Q's regular hours has 1 hour double top, Maloney says. Lucia was saying, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah. And if me and you are thinking the same thing, what is Jerome Powell actually thinking? That's the question. But we are gapping up a little bit from yesterday's close. We are midday range. And this is definitely somewhere in this 383, 79, 3 zone. That's going to be a resistance spot. We would have to, if we want to make any attempt higher, obviously that would have to be a spot that would have to break. This pivot, by the way, also we came in, we got rejected at one of the last VPOCs. This could be a long-term, granted, this could definitely be a case. We could have some kind of bigger cup pullback handle, probably to about here somewhere. And then maybe another leg up. That's possible. But I am starting to think that some of the steam is coming out of this. Let's go to one of our favorites. Let's go to, or not one of our favorites, but one of the stocks that probably everyone's looking at today. We'll check out Meta, aka it's the artist formerly known as Facebook. And yep, we are below $100. We've done it. We've made it. We are below $100 on on Meta. Let's flip it to a daily, and we could probably go out to a weekly as well. We'll see where the next volume comes in. If anything, we are below all the daily volume. We are, let's see, the weekly. We have a little bit of support somewhere around $95, maybe slightly higher, 90, we'll call it 90, 95.66, a little bit, and then we're going to get some resistance, probably about 105. It's a big gap. It's a big gap. That's only small volume areas. The next one really takes us to about $76. That being said, Facebook earnings were really not that bad. I know everyone's telling you different. The stock price telling you different. This is where I get my little value hat investing on. And it wasn't that bad. It was more so probably the forecast, like Facebook had more active users. Facebook actually beat on earnings. Instagram looked good. Core products look good. Metaverse looks like a hot dumpster fire. Maloney says, Tony, I'm selling. This is a good day to sell some puts on Facebook / Meta. Target, I mean, again, for long-term investing, I think valuation should be somewhere close to about 130. Is the low end of where I was like, all right, this might be a spot where I'd be interested in the long term. I'm not picking up any shares today just because of the long-term plan that I have. I do have to wait another till November 1st or beginning of November when the budget is available for that month. But I will be picking up some Meta if the prices are still down here. Granted, it could get lower, and I have no problem buying it all the way down. I don't think Facebook goes anywhere. I think they do have a big issue with this metaverse. I think they are just taking lots of cash, putting it into a big bag, burning it on fire for now. If you ask Michael Holt in this group, Michael Holt will say metaverse is cool. I get it. Right now, as investors are all looking short term on this thing, it does not look like they have a great handle on building out this metaverse. What were the earnings in the metaverse? Not great, Michael Holt. Yeah, so you have two things involved with the earnings that came out last night on metaverse. One, quarter over quarter, metaverse actually brought in less revenue. So they actually brought in more revenue last quarter than they did this quarter. So you have decreasing revenue in specifically just the metaverse, and they are planning on spending like another 15 to 20 billion next quarter from what they have already spent, like to add more expenses to building out the metaverse. He is going full throttle on the metaverse. Keep that in mind. He believes in it. I have no problem with that. I don't really think that investors appreciate money that they're investing into Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. That is a proven business so far. He's taking that money, those gains, and he is gambling it into the metaverse. It could pay out absolutely huge. Granted, it definitely can. But as of right now, and in the short-term point of view, it's not a good. People do not like the uncertainty of the metaverse at this point. So we'll have to see how it all plays out. I like it, especially under $100. I mean, for the long term, if it's under 100 or less next week, I'm game. I'm on board. I like it. And again, it's not based on, I think this is the bottom. I'm not trying to catch fallen knives. I don't need the absolute best price, but I think this is a very good price to start a long-term position. So now let's get back to day trading real quick. We did see we have a little bit of support, probably somewhere around this 95 zone, 95.66. I think we were looking at. A much bigger target is probably $75. There is a lot of selling or shorting into Facebook since about, 9 months ago? Probably not even 9 months ago. This guy's getting destroyed quickly, but all-time highs into 2015 levels. I think we're at 2015 levels, 2016 levels. We're definitely low. Definitely low. Matt, you have puts on Meta. What mansion will you be buying? Oh yeah, if you had some puts on Meta, those ones are going to be printing for sure. Harold in YouTube land says, would you sell a put today on Meta? Yes, I have no problem selling puts on Meta. Absolutely no issue selling puts on Meta. Because one, I do not mind getting filled. Again, in a long-term perspective, in 10 years from now, even if you look at it like this, the metaverse will work out or it will not work out. It doesn't matter. If within the next few years, they realize the metaverse is absolutely garbage and they discontinue it, they cut it back, whatever, they just leave the product out there. And if someone uses it, they use it and it becomes an abandoned child. Then we're going back to the core product, which is still good. Like the core product is still bringing in lots of revenue. It's performing well. Or in 10 years, the metaverse, on the other hand, is absolutely terrific. It's exactly what Zuck thinks it is. And they are just banking off metaverse at that point. Either way, you're going to still be more reliant on the companies that are stable than as opposed to the gamble of the metaverse. We'll either know or we don't know at that point, and then they could kind of refocus their attention. What price target would you sell the meta put on? You really have to see what you're probably going to get some good premium at open. Like I said, I think it could go to 76. I think it just based on the chart, I think 76. I'd probably be looking for, I would get underneath this pivot though. Take like a month out, probably do $89, $88, somewhere in that range. Right. If you're getting really good premium and you get it lower, get it lower. Just depends on what that premium is at open. All right. Jeremy says, so at open, we're down a lot. I think this one might have the ability to bounce back a little bit. It is at a good price. I'll play it either way. It's a really large gap though. Really, really large gap. We'll be on the screen. We will be trying to check this one out. A lot of selling into it means a lot of people on this gap. Like Tony just said, I'm profitable. I got those puts. More power to you. And this one could bounce before it sinks again. We'll see. It struggled all after hours. It struggled pre-market. It's been a big struggle fest. I think it might be a little on the oversold side. Look at this weekly chart on the Tessie. That's not good. That's not good. I was always wondering what that blue line on my chart was. I drew it forever ago. Looks like we're just bouncing into it. Do I think Tesla has the ability to run today? Two things. One, their earnings weren't that great, and we did pop up pretty much from just under $200 back to 230. We're in the 230 range. We're gapping right into that blue line, which is also the neckline of that bigger major head and shoulders on Tesla. I do have a covered call. I do have a put. So I'm safe regardless what happens. It is a very interesting opening spot. So here is our 30-minute. If we get slightly higher, right? We're at the I call it the uh-oh zone. All right, so this is where the bears go, uh-oh, we got to push this thing down, because if it starts to break slightly higher, again, past that 230, we have plenty of room up until about 240, right? There's no institutional interest up until 240, and it does have the ability to run. That being said, we're at major uh-oh zone. We're also at that neckline, like perfectly at that neckline. If this is going to fail, this is the zone it has to fail at, and you probably get some kind of support around 221 again. We'll see if that ends up breaking, but it's very, very close to honestly, anything could happen at this point. It is a gap up into almost a double top from yesterday. Again, I think the money to me would be trying to attempt to short it, believe it or not. We just looked at the SPY. We do have that divergence. So if the entire SPY ends up falling, which again, doesn't have to be right at the open, but if the entire SPY starts to fall, Tesla at this right now resistance and at that little bit of a neckline from the weekly chart, this is a good spot where it should get some kind of resistance. So again, we'll see what happens on this. If it does break, yeah, somewhere in the next target, at least the immediate next target, I'll go with 239.91. But I would expect probably about 240 almost. Right, I'll go anywhere from 239 to 240, somewhere in that range would be the next real stop. And if it's a really good push that we had, we're squeezing a lot of people, I think somewhere in the 243. But until this breaks, right now I think it's starting to break it already. So we'll see where this thing opens. If this thing opens in the range, I might buy some puts. I'll buy some puts, hoping this thing collapses, or wait for a green candle, see if we get a break underneath it. Again, I'm not full bear on Tesla. It is doing something different. Well, it was doing something different than the market until the market started catching up. But at this point, it could be one of those spots. It might just be a risk to reward play. Obviously, if this thing starts to move higher, we'll be able to bail out of any shorts or puts very quickly on this one, but we'll have to see again. Meta lost 8 years of gains. The other thing about Meta too, by the way, is they did buy back, I think 6.5 billion in stock, which is another positive. You do want to see companies buy back their stock, especially when the price is low, because now if you are owning the shares, you do get more value of the actual company. The opposite of dilution. Right now, Tesla is inside day though, so for 10 EMA, not able to trade it yet. AMD. Something happened with the chips. I still have not actually figured out what it was. It's a sympathy play somewhere. I can't figure out why. But something reported yesterday. You do have a good AMD, got pushed up higher. This one looks good. First point of resistance though is going to be somewhere around 62.36. That's a small one. The next one will probably take us to about 63.95. And then the real one I'll probably be looking at is somewhere close to about $68. So it has some room. I know you guys did buy. Oh, man, there's not really a ton of volume in this. Yeah, the next real spot is probably somewhere around that $68 zone. Some news from Meta pushed the chips up. Do you know what portion of the Meta news? Jordan wants to look at Oxy real quick. The Warren Buffett Oxy. This is a big retest gap. Yep, gap into new all-time highs. It could run a little bit further at open. Watch very closely, see if it gets up to about 74.47. I would say this one probably ends up retesting though. You have literally everybody from the Warren Buffett news just about profitable. Maloney says, I believe they bought back shares at an average price of $300. I don't think that was the case. I could be wrong because I thought they did it this quarter, and this quarter was not $300. They would have had to somehow pay up much higher than their own stock price. I could be wrong. Just double check that. Yeah, Amazon does not look good, but Amazon has earnings today. Keep that in mind. We are still in heavy volume area. I don't know why I'm on this 30-minute chart, but we have high volume area on Amazon. Probably not going to be one of the easiest shorts, I don't think. Out of the gate, you could get caught up and there could be some kind of support. Again, very similar to yesterday, but 114.80. If that starts to break, we're probably looking at closer to 114.15, 114.30, and then you're going to get right into that zone. Probably the low of the day, I think, could be about 114 on Amazon. So again, it's definitely, it's reacting off of Amazon. Keep in mind, Amazon is much different than Facebook. I think actually Amazon does good today. I think Amazon does report good today. AWS, I think, is very strong still. A lot of people on the Amazon earnings, by the way, they're going to be watching AWS because that is basically everything internet companies. So that will give us a good reference as to if the entire internet division is suffering or it's just exclusive to companies. Facebook, it does have its issues with obviously iOS blocking them and things like that, but we're not tracking the ads. Amazon is much different than that. They also have the retail, which again, maybe people are cutting back on shopping, but then they own grocery stores where you saw, not that it's specifically those companies, but Pepsi, Coca-Cola, they both did good on earnings. People are still buying food. They're still buying it at higher prices. Maybe they do cut back a little bit. Then you also got Amazon Prime membership. Maybe that drops a little bit, but you're still paying what, $120 a year or something like that for the Amazon Prime. You also have the NFL Network, maybe drawing some more people. They have Thursday Night Football. There's a lot, I think, that Amazon is encompassing, and I think Amazon, again, we're seeing the GDP come out. We're still there's still money out there in the world, right? Don't let them fool you. People still have money. But this Amazon, it's does look a little bit more on the short side. I just don't know how far this one falls, and that's probably one of the only things that would hold me back from actually shorting this. Most likely, we get some just chop on Amazon, and then the real move happens after hours today. Meta is increasing AI data center. Oh, there you go. That's why the chips are popping. Yep, they need the chips for the data centers. Got you. All right. Apple. This one, I think, is a little bit more attractive as a short. This one we should at least have room. It's not much, but it's 147.46 would be the next spot that kind of should hold. I think Apple out of the gate probably starts selling. MU didn't get the memo. They're just not using Micron, I guess. I think Biden was visiting Micron in where are they? They got upstate New York or something. I think he was visiting them today or yesterday, building out some kind of a plant. I don't know. Twitter has earnings today. That's going to be a very interesting one. I don't know how that one plays out. That's kind of charting in new territory because I think Elon Musk also has a staff meeting. He has a staff meeting with Twitter on Friday. So how much weight does any of the Twitter earnings hold at this point? I think you're pretty much banking that you either love or hate Elon Musk, and that's going to be your catalyst in that one. I don't think it's going to be so much what they've done. It's, well, what is Elon going to do? Yeah, it's going private soon. Yeah. I don't know. I want to be on that staff meeting, though. That's for sure. I think that would be a fun one. NVIDIA, again, really, really nice gap up. Going to hit some resistance. This one will qualify for the 10 EMA. At least gap. Potentially gap wise, it will qualify if the 10 EMAs line up. We might be able to get a play out. But yeah, some resistance coming in. It is nice gap. We are buying into it. This one probably fades before it goes longer, especially at the spot. So I'd be looking, maybe I'm going to set an alarm on this one. We'll see if it goes off. But if I can get a lot closer to 134.49 for some kind of retest, that would be an area I would be interested in potentially going long. Chips have been a struggle bus. We all know that. Delta. Oh, we only got 1 minute left. 30 seconds left. What happened? Delta just continues its bullishness. Keeps on running. I'm not going to be buying or shorting Delta. Not yet. But we will see. Everybody on YouTube land, appreciate you guys joining us each and every morning. Stay safe out in the market. And just a token of good luck. I believe if you guys hit that little thumbs up button, it does bring 7 years of good luck to you. I don't know how that works, but it's I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious. You guys are incredible. I'll catch all of you guys tomorrow. See you guys.